Welcome back, Wolfpack. Verlis here, and this is how to use Virizion Wireless. Sorry, sponsors. Let's just get on to the stats. So Virizion and Cobalion are actually going to be counterparts in a way. Whenever you're Sword of Justice, your stats are going to have some consistency to them. You have 91 on the hit points, 108 on the speed, and then you have a 129, a 72, and two 90s. Now, the 129 stat is going to be your beneficial one for that, so special, then that means your physical is going to be the one with the 72. In this case, 129 special defense, 72 defense, 90s on both offenses, and that's kind of it. So on that, we get some decent outspeeds. 108, good speed tier, but not an excellent sweeping tier. 100 base speed Pokemon and 105 base speed Pokemon, but we fall short to that 110 tier and above. So again, we're going to be able to take out a majority of Pokemon pretty well. We aren't going to have anything to outspeed them, but we are relatively tanky, so it kind of doesn't matter as much. Look at its typing. Virizion is going to be a grass fighting typing. 2 times weakness, poison, fire, psychic, ice, and fairy. Lot of weaknesses. And uncomfortable amount of weaknesses, but that's what happens when you get grass typing on almost anything. Then we have ground, rock, water, grass, electric, and dark resistances. So those are going to be the balances that we have with our typing. Hopping into Pokemon Showdown, Virizion is going to be kind of standard with the ideas, but its execution is going to be a bit interesting, and that's just the breakdown right here. So with an offensive set like this one, I was thinking Swords Dance, and you are going to want that Jolly Nature with a high amount of attack, so you max out the attack, max out the speed, and whatever you outspeed is going to pretty much go down, except for like Ghost type Pokemon stuff. But if you can hit that neutral close combat after a Swords Dance, it is over for your opponent, which is why outspeeding is so crucial. Close combat is going to be your main form of damage, so if you get outsped, then you're just most likely going to get one shot by something simple, and that's not what you want to do as a sweeping Pokemon. So to maintain as much of that as possible, we have a Lumberry. I think Lumberry is going to work out just fine if you see that they're throwing out a lot of status, or if they're going for something silly, then you can just have that Lumberry. So free Swords Dance, you outspeed them and destroy them with a close combat. That's going to be pretty nice. And then there's also Leaf Blade, Stab Damage, Stone Edge is going to round out your coverage as well. So Stone Edge, not the most accurate of moves with that 80%, but between Close Combat and Leaf Blade, adding on that Stone Edge is going to be excellent for your coverage, and it's going to be your best option out of all of your physical moves. So that's really what I mean by standard, like you just Swords Dance it into damage. You can also go with the Life Orb. That's pretty much just going to secure extra Leaf Blade KOs and make it to where Close Combat is going to be absolutely absurd, and maybe even pick off some resist as long as the Pokemon is just a little bit weakened beforehand. Other than that, still justified. Switch it in on a Dark type move, it'll absorb it pretty well, and then you get free attack, and then you just go and convert that into more damage. Life Orb with Justified is really nice, and that's kind of what we got with this Pokemon. As for setup on the Virizion, first we saw that the typing isn't that great for tanking. Also, it doesn't have what Cobalion has. Cobalion has Iron Defense and Calm Mind, so it gets to cover for its defenses, you know? It can use Iron Defense to become insane physically defensive, or it can use Calm Mind to patch up that lower special defense. Cobalion is going to be good for this, but Virizion, it doesn't have Iron Defense. It doesn't get a way of boosting its defense. So Iron Defense on this Pokemon would be absolutely insane, because now we're going to be able to boost our defense faster than Cobalion boosted special defense, so we can get pretty tanky pretty quick. But one way I thought about remedying this was with a Key Berry. So you give it a Key Berry. If you take a physical hit, you're going to boost your defense by 1 stage. So that means now if you were a 2-hit KO, you become a 3-hit KO in a lot of situations, and if you can heal up, well then you're going to be just fine. So playing this into the Calm Mind means that we're going to be ridiculously tanky. So we use Calm Mind, say we take a physical hit on that turn, that means we're going to have over 400 special defense, we're going to have over 400 defense, and then we're going to have close to 400 on the hit points, and then we're also +1 on the special attack. Now that isn't going to be insane because it's only boosting us to around 300 at level 100, but if we boost 3 Calm Minds, 4 Calm Minds, very few things are going to be able to deal with us with special attacks, and then we just have super amounts of damage, still pretty good defensively, and that's kind of all there is to it. As for sustain options, we get Synthesis. Our benefit as a grass-type Pokemon is the Synthesis, but if we're running Giga Drain, it seems like we're overlapping too much. But at the same time, our special options aren't that insane, that if you scroll down, it's all physical, and it's all hidden power. So other than that, we have Focus Blast. Now, Focus Blast, not something you want to bank on too much, but if you have a lot of tankiness, like if you're a 4-hit KO Pokemon, you can actually afford to miss 1 or 2 Focus Blasts and still score a KO. Focus Blast is pretty insane, you know, 120 base power, going to have the stab, but if you need the damage, it could work out. Other than that, Hidden Power, now this is a legendary Pokemon, so getting Hidden Power on it could be rather tricky. If not, you know, you just mix it up. You go Giga Drain with like Hidden Power Ice, and that's going to be probably one of the better options that you have. So whatever you can't hit well with Giga Drain, you throw out the Hidden Power Ice for. Or if you feel the Synthesis isn't really necessary, then you can just put the Focus Blast and then have all the coverage off to the side. That's really it. Like, it's weird though, because you would expect a Pokemon like this to get Signal Beam. Sometimes you just kind of see that slapped into some Pokemon, but really, your special attacking options aren't insane. However, if you can get that healing going, it's really nice. The reason why I like the Synthesis is because it lets you set up a bit more before your Giga Drain is healing you for absurd amounts. Now, as for having Giga Drain and Synthesis, that works. Instead of Synthesis and Energy Ball, I feel that if you're using 3 Calm Minds, 4 Calm Minds, the damage difference between an Energy Ball and Giga Drain is going to be pretty insignificant. So just always run that Giga Drain for the heal options while doing damage. Focus Blast or whatever Hidden Power if you can get your hands on it. And that's going to be it with this kind of Virizion. Other than that, in double battles, Virizion's pretty nice. Has the Quick Guard, so you can be a bit of a counterplay Pokemon with that Quick Guard. Also, you work out really well because if a Pokemon like a Moongus uses Rage Powder, since you're a Grass type, you're immune to Rage Powder. You're immune to that Spore, so you can actually hit through all of that. So you can set up Quick Guards, you can play that defensive game for a little bit of protection, or you just go out with Leaf Blades in close combats. Mega Kangaskhan supported by a Rage Powder Pokemon isn't going to work. You're going close combat that Kangaskhan to the face, and you're going to have a really good day. So sometimes you see the Virizion as that Amoonguss, as that kind of Spore counter, and it can do really well. And then Quick Guard for like Talonflame and stuff, so you can play with it pretty good. You also hold on to the Protect, because your offensive options aren't that insane. Like maybe a Stone Edge, but by then you're already dealing with Talonflame and other flying Pokemon, which ridiculously threaten you, so I don't think it matters. That's kind of all there is to it. So Virizion, good offensive attacker, sets up the Swords Dance, can go somewhat defense, does have to worry about special attacks, and it can play a nice role in doubles. So if you guys enjoyed the video, that's how you use Virizion, and I hope you all have a nice day. Thank you for watching.